Hey everybody, so today we are doing this look, this very fall vampy dark look. I love it. So this is, I don't know, kind of my most, not glam necessarily, but my darkest kind of most makeup that as far as I will go. So if you want to see how to get this look, just keep on watching. Hop right into doing our makeup. So I'm going to start by priming. Today I'm using the Smashbox Photo Finish. This is the Radiance primer. I have been really liking this, especially if I'm going to wear kind of a matte foundation. This helps to kind of not make me quite as matte. It's really thick and it feels really nice and velvety. Alright, so next I'm going to use a foundation I haven't used in a while. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It foundation. This is in Light Cool 46. I don't know that well, that's fine. I've obviously used quite a bit of this. I used to use it like every day before I started trying out different foundations. So this is the most full coverage foundation that I have, and I like to put it on with a beauty blender just to sheer it out a little bit because it gets too heavy for me. So I'm going to go ahead and squirt 2 pumps on my hand. Don't mind my bottle. It's been through hell. That's okay. So I'm going to take a sponge. This is the L'Oreal sponge. I really dig this. This has been amazing. And I'm just going to put this all over my face. So it's still, this might be more of a winter shade for me. I'm still a little bit darker than this, but I think it still works pretty nicely and kind of brightens up my face. It covers so much. Now that we've got our foundation on, this does sit down pretty quickly. It is just a smidge tacky. I am going to set my face because I always do. I just feel better if my face is set with powder. But next I'm going to go in with my current obsession, the Wet n Wild highlighting and concealing pen. I used this in my last video and I flippin' just love it. I am in the shade I-vory Into You, so it's the ivory shade. This is the Illumi-Naughty pen. So I'm just going to pull that up and conceal, and I am going to actually brighten this time. So I'm just going to put this under my eyes. I'm going to go up just a little bit because my purple bags go up. And I'm going to kind of pull this down into a small triangle. Then I'm not going to pull any more up. I'm just going to put a little bit down my nose and then right at the top of my forehead just to kind of highlight those areas. Then I'm just going to take that same sponge that I was using and I'm just going to blend it all in together. I just really like the way that stuff looks. It blends really, really nicely and it covers a lot. It conceals at least the majority of my purple circles. My next step, I'm going to go in with the Kat Von D Lock-It powder in translucent. So I'm just going to go in with a big fluffy brush and just get a little bit, tap off the excess. I'm just going to do a very thin layer because I don't want it to be overly caked on. So I'm just going to set my concealer first, and then I'll set my whole face. I like to just kind of tap it in. I don't really pull because I just want to push it into my skin so that it's not moving any product underneath if it's not fully set down yet, you know? Loose powder plus black shirt equals it's all over me. Okay, so with that set, it feels nice. So with that in, we're gonna put some life back into my skin. I'm gonna bronze and do some blush. Today I am using the Bahama bronzer from the Balm Cosmetics. I have this little sample and I flipping have been just loving it. It's awesome. So I'm just gonna take my little angle brush and bronze up my face. To hit the cheeks and my forehead, and then I will do the bottom of my chin. My plan is to contour today too, so I'm not going to overly bronze. Okay, so for blush, I'm also using the, from the Balm Springs Long Wearing Blush. I have this cute little sample right here. It is this kind of darker red color. I love these on me. The darker red shade blushes. It just seems to work with my undertones really well. So I'm just going to put a little bit, not very much because the stuff is pretty pigmented. So just a little bit on my brush and pop it on my cheeks. That stuff is pigmented. Okay, so next, a step that I usually skip is contour. So I'm going to go ahead and contour just a little bit. I'm not going to do the full round face thing. I never do. I rarely contour anyway, but I'm going to go in with this Master Contour kit that I got from Maybelline. I'm only going to be using the contour portion of it. So I'm just going to put a little bit on this angled brush and then I'm going to fade it up, not fade, blend it up. But I'm just going to blend that till I can just barely see a shadow of it. I just want a little bit. I don't want much. That looks good to me. Hopefully, like, I know sometimes on camera it shows up a little harsher than it looks in real life. But in my mirror, it looks just like a slight shadow, not too much of anything. Okay, so next I'm going to prime my eyes with the BH Cosmetics Smooth Canvas Long Wearing Shadow Primer. This is in the shade Veil. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows, which I don't normally do, but I'm just going to use this Cella pencil. This is in Tantalizing Taupe. I've had this for a while. I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows. Nothing fancy. I just fill them in. I don't create anything bigger. So I'm just going to do that real quick and then I'll be right back. Okay, so my eyes have been primed and I just filled in my eyebrows and combed through them. So next, for the fun parts, we'll go ahead and do eyes. I am mostly going to be using the Pure Soiree Diaries palette. This thing, I love this. Especially for fall, like darker looks. And I'm going to try and do something, I don't know, weird with it. Not weird, but dark and deep and, I don't know, a lot of makeup, like I said. So we're going to start out with our, bone shade base color. So I'm just going to take my kind of fluffy brush and I'm going to go into the shade Private Party right here and put this all over the lid just to prep everything and set our eye primer that we put on. Me. Okay, so next we're going to go in with this shadow. I use a angled shadow brush. This is the Luxie Medium Angled Shading 207. I use this almost every day. I love this thing. It's my favorite like transition shade thing to use. So like I said, we're going to go do a lot. So I'm going to start with Socialite and put that as my first transition, and then I'm going to go in with Gala next and do that using the same brush just to create kind of that faded effect, gradient effect. So starting with Socialite, I'm going to put this high up in like above my crease but below my brow bone, and I'm just going to work that all over everywhere. Next I'm going to go in with Gala, grab some of that, and work that just below where I put Socialite. Sort of right above and into the crease. So now moving on for our next, so I'm just going to kind of go in a row, adding deepening and everything like that. So next I'm going to take this fluffy-ish brush. This is from Tarte. It does not have a name on it, so I know it's from Tarte. That's all I know. And I'm going to go in with Splurge, this brown color right here. I'm going to take that and I'm going to put that just in the crease. Again, this can be kind of messy as well, and I'm pulling it down into the outer V to hit my lower lash line, but I'm just pulling that just so it's like it's defining your eye. Make sure you're tapping off because this does have some kick up, which is good for blending, but it does, you don't want that to fall on your eye. So next I'm going to take this kind of tapered fluffy brush. This is from Glamour Dolls and I love it. It's super soft. So I'm going to go in with this warm toned brown right here. This is Stunner. And I'm just going to pick it up right on just on the top part of my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go right over top where I just put Splurge, right in the crease. Because this is more of a tapered edge, it's going to fall just in the crease, and so like the other shade will be below it as well. And I am holding the brush kind of halfway to further down, just so that it gives me kind of a lighter coverage. The closer you get, the harsher of a line you're going to get, which, you know, sometimes you want that, but for this I want this kind of blown out and airbrushed-ish. I just want it to be really blended. I'm going to start pulling it up just a little bit to make it a little bit more dramatic, so kind of pulling it out towards the temples. I will be going and deepening that some more, but I am going to go in with my glitter color right now and cover my eye, and then I'll go in and put that darkest color on the outer edges. So I'm going to go in with, I think I'm going to go in with Cosmo. I haven't really tried this yet. It's pretty dark. We can always throw another one on top of it. And I'm going to, do I want to use my finger or do I want to use a brush? I'm going to start with a brush. This is the classic shader from Lamora. So I'm not going to get this wet, though I might in a minute. We'll see how it looks first. Like I said, I haven't played with this one. It's got a lot of kick up, so, which is fine, but it might be kind of all over my face. So I am going to go ahead and get this wet. You can use water. I'm using a setting spray that I don't like, so I'm just going to get some on my brush, tap off the excess, and then spray it, and then put it on my eye. Yes, that's a lot more va-va-voom. Don't mind me. So I'm just packing this onto the lid. I'm not really blending it. And then I'm trying to kind of, I guess I am kind of blending it where it meets the other colors, but I'm trying just to set it down on the lid. And then right in the inner crease right there, sort of blending it. See how this is kind of a round edge? So you can get right in there and just blend it so it's a little bit softer. So I know that looks weird with the kind of red color, so we're gonna go in with a kind of a dense crease brush. Where is it? This is a Sonia Kashuk brush. I got this in a set. It doesn't have a name on it, or if it did, it's gone now because I've had this for a long time. But it's just a kind of a round brush that fits really well in the crease. I'm going to go in with Epic right here, this dark brown shade. I'm just going to put that on my brush, and I'm going to put it in the crease and the outer V. So you can still see a little bit of those warmer tone colors coming up, but this is just going to darken everything on the edge. And I'm going to pull it out a little bit to kind of make a point with my shadow and go in the crease. I'm sort of changing my eye shape with it. You just want to make sure that you blow it out enough, and then we'll come back and we'll certainly blend it to make it as softer on the edges as possible. And I'm going to go in with that snazzy color. It's that warmer toned brown. And I'm just going to put this in the outer V. I'm not going to put this in the crease at all. So I'm just going to kind of pull it out to where we've been pulling our shadows and just put it right here. And then I'm going to take a blending brush and blend. So my current favorite blending brush is this e.l.f. blending brush. I got this at Walmart. It's only like $3 and it's flippin' amazing. See, it's got this kind of weird flat shape, but it's just so perfect. So I'm just going to take it and blend around to soften all of the edges. Okay, so I do think that while I like this, it is a little bit dark, so I'm going to put something in the inner corner. So I'm going to go in with Glitzy. And I'm going to put this on my middle finger. I'm just going to grab some, tap off the excess. I'm just going to put this right in the inner corner area. See if I can brighten that up just a little bit. Wow, that is gold. I do think I'm going to go back in with Cosmo, that darkest shade that we put all over the lid. I'm going to go in with my finger and I'm going to just tap it to blend it with that other shade. So next I'm going to take a fluffy brush, something like this. Again, this is a Lamora. This is called a blending brush. I like it for my inner corners and that sort of thing. I'm going to go with Mogul. And I'm going to highlight my brow bone with this. So I'm just going to put it right under the arch and out. Okay, so we also need to do the lower lash line. So I'm going to take a small shader. This is again by Lamora. And I'm going to go in with Splurge. And just put that on the very tip of my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to run that under, like, pretty high up, as close to the waterline as I can get. And I'm just going to shade that in. Okay, and then I'm going to grab a little linery brush. This is by Bodyography Pro. This is the angled liner. I'm going to grab that Epic color, that cooler toned brown, right at the edge there, and I'm going to stamp this in my eye on the just under the waterline. I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to put it in the outer half or so. Okay, then I'm going to go back with that small kind of tapered eyeshadow brush. I'm going to go back in with Splurge. I know we just put that in with the other brush, but it wasn't enough, so I'm going to kind of mix them together and pull it all the way across. Okay, that looks good to me. So go ahead and if you have any fallout, sweep that away. There's some, but this palette is like really good, and I don't get a ton of fallout, but I do like to just clean it up a little bit. I don't know if I never noticed it before, but this foundation is not doing wonderful things for my skin. Once I hit it with a setting spray, maybe things will be different. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do liner, and I'm just going to use the Physicians formula. This is the lash boosting brush. I used this in my last video. I like it a lot. So I'm just going to go ahead and line my eyes. So obviously not the best job I've ever done. Not the worst either. So I am going to have to clean it up with concealer, so I will go ahead and show you if you don't know this trick. So I'm going to I use the Master Conceal. I like this for just concealing because it's not terribly brightening. So what you want to do is grab a concealer brush like this. This is the Bare Minerals brush that I've had for years and years and years. I'm just going to squeeze a little bit out onto the back of my hand. Like very little amount, and I'm going to just dip my brush in there, and I'm going to just kind of dot along the edges to kind of cover up whatever I screwed up, and then you pull it down. And yes, I know we have powder on, but it's still okay because you're just doing just a little bit. And then we'll clean it up as much as possible. So the top looks okay to me, so then I'm just going to blend that out with my finger to make everything blend together. And then that does kind of brighten, it does brighten it up just a little bit, but it certainly cleans up the wing and makes it look more professional. There. See, doesn't that look better? Like, it took no time at all. So if you do screw up a wing, it's not really a huge deal. It's pretty easy to fix. Next, I like crayons on the bottom lash line. And so I'm going to take this Essence Long Lasting Eye Pencil in 01 Black Fever. And I'm going to just put this in the waterline. I'm going to go about halfway across with it. Okay, I went a little farther than halfway, which is okay. If you go all the way across, then you kind of close up your eye. And while my eyes are huge, I still want them to be open and bright. So, that's good for that. So now let's go ahead and highlight. We'll highlight, do setting spray, and then we can put our mascara on. I am using the Urban Decay Afterglow 8-Hour Powder Highlighter. I just have a little sample. It looks like this. It's very pretty. It's kind of a champagne-y color. So I'm going to grab my highlighting brush. Right here, this is the BH Cosmetics. It's got a highlighting brush. It's number 11. I'm just going to dip into there. And I'm going to highlight. So now that our eyes and our face is done, I'm going to go ahead and set my face with a setting spray. I'm using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray. I super highly recommend this. It's super affordable, and it just does a great job at A, melting everything into your skin, and B, keeping your face on for a while. So I'm just going to... And then I like to push my setting spray in with my previously used beauty sponge, just so that it has a chance to really sink in and melt everything together. Okay, so now that that's on and set, I'm going to go ahead and curl my lashes and pop on some mascara. Today I'm using the Superhero Mascara from It Cosmetics. Okay, so lastly, we'll move on to lips. So I'm going to do a very dark vampy lip. I'm going to use the Jonte Blue lip liner pencil. This is in the shade 943 Brown Sugar. I'm just going to line my lips and fill them in just a little bit. My lips are pretty dry, so they're kind of peely. So I like to kind of fill in all of my lips with that because it helps keep your lipstick on. And then I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild. This is in the shade 508A Black Orchid. Black Orchid, sorry. And it's just this really pretty deep dark. It's a plain old lipstick, but I find that these stay on for quite a while. I'm just gonna put this on. So I like that, but I think I want more. So I'm gonna put the Infallible Pro Matte Liquid Lipstick. This is in the shade 370 Roseblood. I'm gonna go ahead and put this on top just to, yes, it's a liquid lipstick. It's just a little bit deeper. That is all I have for you guys today. This is my very fall, very vampy, dark look. I like wearing a ton of makeup. It's fun. Of course, you can always cut corners. You don't have to wear as full coverage or whatever, but I like to play with makeup. So this is the final look, and thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.